Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Top of Hat the Third, at your service. We're going to talk about this seriously again because it's 15th century connection that we're going to talk about the Hatts and the Dachshund breed, which is the Dachshund breed from Germany. Now, a lot of you know the Dachshund breed quite well, quite nicely, and they are very barky type barky type dogs, obviously. But they can be trained as any other pet owner can be. Um, I walked with a private connection of mine, one of my support engines, obviously, and we walked two Dachshunds or Dachshunds, if you like to call them correctly for short, and we walked in a very good park, and one of the Dachshunds was keeping quiet, if you will. But they can't help that. And dachshunds have ability. They are badger dogs, arena dogs that basically hunt for rabbits, badgers, moles, etc., etc. Because they like their digging and they like their perspective of things. But when I was in my when I actually got attached to a dachshund breed dog, obviously arena dog, there was a 15th century connection with the Hatts and the Dachshunds. There is a big, big connection with that. And because there are certain things about us, yes, this Dachshund, right, was a female, right? She always comes on my lap and she always be calm, cool, and collected, right? When she senses trouble, she barks, right? She can't help that. But I overheard when I was walking in the park, this man told the dog to basically to shut up. Right? We don't need that violent type of behaviour, or even if we didn't see that his face or acknowledge, I stood and heard it all. Right? So the dachshund that I was bonded with did nothing wrong to no one. So, in any aspects, a lot of people thought, why is a dog? Let's give you another way of thinking about this. Right, there's a connection with the Dachshunds, with my family, for centuries. So they bonded with every Hat member of the family. Right, right, and I'm telling you now, regardless of what you think you can get away with it in some aspects, don't do high tone of language because you make it doesn't mean if it's a dachshund or not. Any dog breed will get fearful. Then they will start to get vicious. Then they will start attacking back, and then you will end up as basically the person that's going to get hurt. Right? A dachshund can make their own choices through time. Since the 15th century, a dachshund has the ability to bond with someone and connect with that individual. It doesn't matter if it's a female or a male, they always connected with somebody, right? Bond with somebody. Learn from it. But every dachshund that I come across, I only come across two at the moment, and I'm telling you now, whoever is like telling people to tell their dogs to shut up. Don't say a word because I've got eyes and ears everywhere and I know what you're all saying. And I said I don't like discrimination of the dogs. It's not their fault, right? It doesn't matter what breed you own. The Dachshunds have instinct. They don't think straight away. So what do? You don't bite their head off and tell them to shut up, or get vicious with them, or or get angry with them unless you're their owner. They look up to the owner and they look at you as the alpha or the beta, right? Some dogs, like the Dachshunds, right, are bonded with me correctly because I was unique, different, and they know my family history. The Dachshunds, right, genetically pass their knowledge down to their offsprings, so they learn from their descendants, like us. Pass the buck, pass the buck. The Dachshunds have done nothing wrong, right? A lot of people say, why has this got to involve around railways? Did you know that Sir Topham Hatt Senior and Sir Topham Hatt the First, and obviously myself, are bonded with the Dachshund breed? Why? Because we have bonded with the Dachshund dog for a long, long time, and we know how they operate. If you're going to expect a dog, any dog breed out there can be vicious as hell, right? If you can't train your dog properly in any environment, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, left, right, or centre. Don't think that you're going to overrule the master or or the person in charge, right? You do not overthrow, right? A lot of Dachshunds out there, even myself, I know as a Hatt member for family, I know their connection, right? The Hatts and the Dachshunds have been connected through the 15th century connection. So, when you look back and look back and look back, why the Dachshunds? Why the Hatts? Why are they all connected? Think about it logically. There are things out there you probably don't fully understand yet that we are the most powerful breed and human being on the planet, right? The Dachshunds can sense a hat, right? A member hat member for family. It's not normal, don't get me wrong, but they know that the Hats are kind-hearted people like myself. But there are times when they can sense when people that are got when you think of a human being and a dog, you have to separate our brains a little bit because our ha- the, my body works with the Dachshunds, right? So I know exactly how to train them a little bit, even more than what you could, right? So you got all these standard protocols in your head saying, why is this woman not training her dogs? Why this and why are they off the lead? Why? Because you have to with the Dachshunds, you have to let them off the lead. They have their sense of instinct and thinking, which a lot of people don't use their brains for most of these days, right? They think they're all clever, 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 clever. Let's take all the human beings around the globe, right? Which it can be. Some could be intelligent, some could be dumb, right? When the when the dumb people then learn what we have learnt, sometimes we click on the same page, right? With the Dachshunds and the Hats, we have been brought up together through time. So the Dachshunds, that's what we call them, or Dachshunds, we have been brought up together through time. So when we have looked and really looked back and saying, like, when you hear somebody say, shut up, as an example, and I told a guy, regardless I haven't seen his face or that, I still heard his voice. And I said, you shut up. Because you never know. Dachshunds are very clever to work out what is right from wrong. Even the Hatt family has that ability. So there's a there's a lot of things that we have to work together, right? So the Hatts and the Dachshunds have known each other for a very, very long time. And a lot of people think, how could they be connected? Okay, the Dachshunds came from Germany, but the Hatts came from Scotland. So work it out in your head. How did he know all of this? I said, it's all connected. And I'm trying to do what you would call protocol matter here, where people need understanding about the Dachshunds. And they're not a normal type of breed. They're rabbit chasers, they are badger dogs, they're wiener dogs, they catch squirrels, they catch everything. And when they sense something, their instinct doesn't always come with their thinking. So you've got to help them guide their head through instinct to thinking. So when I had a Dachshund come into my lap, as example, they bonded with me for certain reasons. And you have to take an example. One male could be fighting over a female, obviously, that's normal. But when you think about it, a Dachshund is a lot more than you think. And the people start to wonder, what? It's not a joke. There's people out there that think they know who they can train their dogs the better way they can. That all I stated, I'm going to make this quite clear. With Susan Garrett, who does the program on YouTube quite well, said the dogs can be trained with the best education they were given. You can't push, you can't shove. The Dachshunds are very, very, what you would call, when they are born, they are acting like children, right? You have to start at the bottom with them to work the level up. You know, in the day when a Dachshund hound comes to me, or a Dachshund come to me, or she's on my lap, she makes it quite clear that Dachshunds have a bond with their owners, with their alphas, with their betas, with the gammas, and then everybody works out, why is this dog bonded with you, or why is this dog bonded with this one, or through the family instinct. Some dogs are very clever to know who to protect in their family, friends, and their own connections. So when the Dachshunds, right, everybody might think I just think I got off the radar. No, the Hatts and the Dachshunds are connected. So when the Dachshunds come to you or whatever, they will see you as a friend or an enemy. If they see you as an enemy, they will bark at you until you're bloody gone hell. You've got nothing to be afraid of them but run for your life. Because the Dachshunds have an instinct to fight back. They won't take a shot at you, but they really would say, look, no, don't tell a Dachshund to shut up. You know, how weird is that? And you think my eyes and ears are blown on the blink? No, it's red, white, black, and blue. Just heard it with my own ears, saying someone said, "Shut up." Right? Telling a dog to shut up. It's not making the dog shut up. It's not going to do anything with the dog. It's just disrespectful. So when you think about it, the Hatts and the Dachshunds have a bond, right? When you think of a Dachshund, you got to think about it. Oh my God, why is that dog going to that man? Why? That man. Do you know why? Because sixth sense. When the dog has sixth sense, which is what you're supposed to watch. Have you heard of a film called Sixth Sense? The movie Sixth Sense. Has anyone? Well, I'm going to tell you, right? I'm going to be honest with you because I don't like to discriminate, right? A Dachshund hasn't done nothing wrong to you, nor have I, right? You lot are just, you got a big, big problem, right? Your world is about to explode, right? Time's ticking. So the more time ticks, it's going to throw up, right? And everybody will just go bonk, right? This is not a joke. So when the dog has sixth sense, right, they know who's a good guy or the bad guy, right? They know if they know it's a friend or foe. Right, a dachshund has that ability. So when you hear a dachshund bark, 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 and you try and tell it to shut up, it won't listen to you unless you bond with it, train it, obviously. Then you've got to give it the respect it has to give as well. So you've got to teach it from right from wrong. Then you've got to bond it all the way up. It's not going to do it in one day straight. When the Hatts used to have a dachshund in their family, we trained them to be more stronger than anything. Why? Passed genetically. So when they had their offspring, our family came down with it. Right? So every member of the family has to know the Dachshund. Because the Dachshund is 15th century connection. So when you think this is all load of hoax, why is the foxhound? It's not a foxhound that's in Thompson Tank of Friends. It's the Dachshund. That's why it's all anagrammed. So when you got this big anagram in your little head on this, why has the Dachshund got a connection with the Hatts? Oh shit! Did we see a dog called a foxhound? There was no breed such fox as a foxhound. We never had a foxhound in the family. We had the dachshund in the family. So every dachshund we had, or doxies as they used to call, we know exactly how they think, operate, and how they train up. We just got to train them correctly earlier, not later in their lives, because it gets complicated through time. And so, when there's somebody you can't see, but you have your eyes and your ears, bang! If the Hat member family goes into the park, or goes to the railway stations, or go to pubs, clubs, restaurants, you name it, I know everything you've been talking about. It's not a joke. Sixth sense. So a dachshund, or a doxy as they call them, have the same perspective. They know who is a threat or friend. You can't just say they bark for no reason because they bark for a reason. Because they smell. Their smell goes through miles and miles and miles. And they can sense things. So when the Hatts used to own a dachshund long time ago in the 15th century, work it out. I've just given it out to you on a silver platter. So if you really want all this argument and debate saying how can a Hatt own a Dachshund or Doxy, 15th century connection, there on a silver platter. Thank you very much indeed.